All right, there we go. Okay, guys, sorry I'm a little late. OBS decided to give me a little attitude today. But we're back just in time for the revelation of the top 15. As Utah comes in at 15 here. They drop down 2 spots. Vanderbilt, they're now in the top 15. 10-2, 14th in the FPI. Strength of schedule rank, 22nd. A little bit. This would be what, number 5.0, I believe? Yeah. Miami comes in at 12. Ooh. By the way, Buckeye Nation, didn't think you thought I forgot about my intro, didn't you? What's poppin'? It's another Tuesday night, which means it's time for another rankings. Getting into the top 10 here in a moment. Damn near got into a fist fight with freaking OBS Streamlabs. Pissed me the heck off. All right, number 11. Just outside the top 10 is BYU at 11-1. And again, they stayed put, just like Miami and Vanderbilt. So Texas moved up 3, Utah drops 2. That's pretty big right there. That is pretty big. All right, top 10. Notre Dame drops down 1. So they're going to be behind Oklahoma. And again, they don't play this week, so they're going to be lifting on the edge this weekend. That's for damn sure. I'm pretty sure they don't want BYU to win. Because BYU wins, you get Tech and BYU possibly both in the tournament. Coming in at number 9 is Alabama. They're up number 1 spot. So they switched spots with Notre Dame. Wow. Wow, Torrey Davis flipped his commitment to Texas from UCLA. Wow. Huh. Nick Abrams, that's a good one. Open to the public. That's a dig at Jared Curtis, I think. Because Jared Curtis is having a private signing, which is weird. Oklahoma, they're still at 8. Oh, so Oklahoma, Bama in the first round? Oh, God. A rematch? M drops down to 7. Wow. Damn. Number 6 is Ole Miss. They actually jump up a spot. And again, they don't have a coach. Well, they do, but it's not Lane Kiffin. They jump a spot. Wow. Charlie Weiss Jr. is actually going back to Ole Miss to coach for the playoffs, too. And if we face Bama or Oklahoma in the second round, man, we face Oklahoma. That's food for us. Number 5 is Oregon. They go up a spot after a really impressive win against Washington. It's going to be Tech. Yep, Tech goes up to 4. Number 3 is Georgia. Number 2, I'm assuming, is going to be Indiana. Yep. And number 1 is Ohio State. So the top two are the same. The top and the bottom three and the top five all jump up a spot. So again, there's a look at the bracket right now. Ohio State, Texas Tech, Georgia, and Indiana top four. Oregon would get a conference champion, probably a group of five, or ACC. And then Alabama, Oklahoma will face Ohio State. And then Ole Miss will get a conference champion. And then Notre Dame and A&M would face off to face Indiana. Oh, God. Notre Dame going to Kyle Field again? They faced off this year, well, last year at Kyle Field, I think. So you'd have 2 rematches in the first round. Wow. Wow. That is craziness. Holy crap. Wow. That is crazy. All right, let's get the full thing here. Wow. Playoff profile, Bama, Miami, and Notre Dame. And just remember, Miami beat Notre Dame head to head. Wow. All right. Here we go. This exact same scenario we sat here last year talking about SMU. All right, so let's get the top 25 here. And I didn't catch these because obviously I was trying to get OBS to work. But James Madison, North Texas, and Tulane, 3 group of 5 teams, all in the top 25. Wow. That's close. So anyways, here is the rankings for this week. One more rankings left. And that comes next week. So again, there's a look at the rankings for December 2nd. The second to last one. Wow. Can you believe that? Freaking crazy. So yeah, you'd have 2 conference champions facing Oregon and Ole Miss. They didn't reveal who it was yet, though. Might be a group of 5. It's either a group of 5 or ACC. That's what it'll be. Yep. Depending on what happens with Duke and Virginia. Because Duke's not even in the top 25. They're 7-5. They win the conference. You might have 2 group of 5 teams in there. Depending on what else happens. Wow. But Oklahoma and Alabama facing off in Norman. Winner gets Ohio State. Oh, boy. Now that would be something, wouldn't it? Duke or James Madison? Wow. SOS is brutal for us. The one that counts. The one that counts. And that is next week. On Sunday, right before NFL games begin. So I'm probably going to go live for that. Probably, what is it, about noon? Yeah. I'll probably go noon for go noon. I'll go live for that on Sunday. And we will go through it and see what they have Ohio State's path looking like. The way I see it, because I know some people might be curious. regardless, win or lose on Saturday, Ohio State's probably getting a bye, whether we like it or not. Yeah. That's what I assume. You never know. I mean, is there like any teams that I would love to see not make the playoffs? Personally, I want all the smoke. I don't give a damn who's in the playoffs. I care. I care. My team's gonna run through whoever we face anyway. Yo, why's the side of my head rising up like the sun, man? My God. That's what I hate about having semi-long hair, man. My hair is thick as hell. It's thick. And it's hard as hell to keep it down. My God. My hair took some Viagra. Hey, yo. Because it won't go down. I get eternal bedhead. Freaking lay down at night and my hair sticks straight up. And it's a freaking it's hard as hell to keep it down. Oh my God, his hair took Viagra. All right. But yeah, so what happened? Oh, people talking about stuff. Yep, ESPN, Alabama, of course. Yeah. Okay. It's the bracket. All right. So here is the bracket. And overall, I like the road that we would be on. Sure, there would be some Buckeye fans that would be like, no, not really. This road's kind of hard. Well, let's take a look, shall we? So, again, the matchups, and of course, once the actual bracket is released next week, I will dig into each matchup. And depending on the bowl game that they go to, I'm going to try to stream at least a couple of the first round games, especially. I will definitely stream the first round matchup that would lead to the Buckeyes. So if it was Bama and Oklahoma, oh, you bet your butt I'm streaming that damn game. Gotta do a little scouting, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then, of course, we go and do a little hate watch of Oregon. You know that, of course. Unless they're the first game of the day. What? No. Stream the first game that Friday night. Oh, hell yeah. The only game I'm probably not streaming is maybe. I might not do the middle game. Depending on which games they are. I wish I could hit up my dude JB Taylor, but he hasn't been feeling well. Darn it. But man, I'm telling you right now, Notre Dame and A&M would be a banger. Probably do that game. All right. Yeah. As far as like the second round games, obviously Ohio State. Duh. And then we'll see what other games are going on that day. Because if we're in the Rose Bowl, again, we'll probably be either the 4 o'clock game or the 8 o'clock game. Hard to say though. And then I'll go over the schedule when it's revealed. I don't want to start talking about what streams are we doing. Because again, you look over here and then you look over here, you realize BYU wins, that probably knocks Notre Dame out. And then we'll see if Miami slips their butt in there. Miami probably, their fans are going to be like, man, we should get in. Damn it. We freaking beat Notre Dame. Yeah, but you know what? You know what hurt? No, you know what? Yeah, you know what hurt Miami? Being ass in November. That's what hurt them. Losing the freaking SMU, Louisville. It's like Texas, right? Their coach coming out here, yeah, man, yeah, if we ain't playing Ohio State, we ain't gonna do. Well, you know what else, Sark? How about you don't lose to a weak, bummy, freaking Florida team? Huh? Don't lose to freaking Florida, and you're in the playoffs right now. Dummy. Don't be yelling at Ohio State when you chose to. Oh, no, yeah, we don't want to schedule them. That's what's going to happen, too. These teams are going to be so scared of the big time games because of this stuff. They're going to be scheduling the weak teams. And the same people that came out of Ohio State for our weak ass schedule will be themselves having a weak ass schedule. That's what they're going to do. They came at us for having a weak ass schedule. They don't play nobody. Then what are they going to do? Non-con games. They don't play nobody. They're not going to say a word about it either. Right? Now, moving on from that, I really wasn't prepared to talk about this until like just now. But the recruiting class, right? Tomorrow is signing day. It goes from tomorrow to Friday. Tomorrow to Friday, the 3rd to the 5th. Most of our class will probably be signed tomorrow. I don't envision anybody signing in February unless their school doesn't allow it. But you do realize, and I hope those players know that going in February puts you at a disadvantage when it comes to playing, because the players that enroll early in January, one, they get to go on a banger ass trip for the college football playoffs, right? You get to hang around with the team during their preparation. And I think they even get to participate low key too. And then you get a head start with spring camp, right? You're in camp in the spring, working out, getting with the guys, gaining that camaraderie, getting that work in the weight room, getting big. And yeah, I mean, the kids that enroll in the summertime, they'll be behind a little bit because they still got to go through high school. A lot of those kids are probably 2 or 3 sport athletes. For any kids that are committing in February or signing in February or not. And let's see, what do we got on Intel in terms of and we'll see if there's any new commitments coming up here too. I love it. All right. Sorry guys, freaking OBS took a dump on me real quick. I don't even know if you guys even heard what I was talking about. But yeah, signing day is tomorrow. And as far as me going live on here, probably not. But I'm probably going to have a video at some point tomorrow going over the class. And if there's any kids that are yet to sign, I'll talk about it. But it's interesting to note that over the last 2 or so cycles, Ohio State has always had a kid that they jumped in on late. Maybe when they had someone flip or when they missed out on somebody. I know a couple years ago, and they've both been pass rushers too. Yeah. They were in on Dominic Kirks very late in the process 2 years ago. He ended up signing in February, which you'd expect. And then last year it was Fisa Tenley. He, I believe, signed also in early December. Nothing new in terms of crystal balls. It's all the same. Let's see what they got here for the top kids in the class. Anything new? Okay, Lamar Brown, don't really care. Zion, no. Darius Gray, he's locked in. Yeah, he's locked in. LaDarian Guyton, he's locked in. Anthony Jones, Chris Henry. A lot of people are talking about him flipping to Oregon, but it seems like he's going to stick, contrary to Caden Dixon-Wyatt, who appears to be headed to USC. Yeah, he's going to go play for that slithering snake freaking Lincoln Riley. That slimy little snake over there. They said on this article here, Ohio State isn't worried and the Ducks aren't overly confident. No. Chris Henry, I think, is going to be a Buckeye. Jalen Lott, he's going to be a Duck. Tyler Atkinson, yeah, we're not even in on him. Caden, oh, it's a lifelong dream to be a freaking Trojan, apparently, for Caden. Which is weird because for weeks he's made it known publicly that he's going to sign with the Buckeyes. So we'll see what happens. Maybe Chris Henry will get in his ear and be like, yo, Caden, what the heck you doing, bro? Yeah, I'm not going trying to play for that slithering snake, slimy ass serpent piece of crap, freaking Lincoln Riley. Winning nothing over there. Because in case they didn't know, the Big Ten is Ohio State's property. What has Lincoln Riley even done? He's made the CFP, what, twice? Or a couple times with Oklahoma? Never won a round. Never won a game in the CFP. Then he dipped on Oklahoma late and went to USC. Because again, he's a slimy serpent of a human being. Snake oil salesman type guy. He's the kind of guy that you, when your team faces him, you want your team to drop 60 on him. There's something about USC that I absolutely freaking hate. I don't know what it is. Right? I just don't know what it is. And I really enjoy when I see my team go out there and put BTA on them. Now, we don't face them often, but still. Okay, so it looks like Davian Gross is locked in. Zion Gibson is locked in. No surprise. Trenton Henderson. Nope. Randall Lyons. No. Joel Wyatt. No. Bryson Martinez. Or even really interested in any of these other kids in the class of 26. Nope. Alan Berryman? No. Bronaugh? Won't look like a clear flip to Ohio State is far from done? Nothing is decided yet. Although I did see a crystal ball on Rivals that said he's going to stick with Florida. But as we know with recruiting, things change. Remember, in the summertime, Playful was a Buckeye for about 12 hours. They say that if he had committed 12 hours earlier, he would have been a Buckeye. But instead, he signed and the next day or whatever, and he ended up being a Trojan. Honestly, if I'm talking to CJ Bronaugh right now, I'm saying this. Okay? I understand. You like Dylan, you like John Summerall, right? Seems like a good guy. You think he's a good guy. You think you're gonna do something, right? At Ohio State, you got a team that's running for a natty every damn year. We might go back to back. You know, it's so funny. People look at Ohio State, they look at where we are. We might go back to back. Now I'm going to go play for Florida. There's a lot of question marks over there. How good freaking Summerall is going to be? Look at all the flameouts from the G5. The last freaking coach they had from the G5, Napier. They thought he was going to be good. But trash. I don't know how good Summerall is going to be, especially in the SEC. Just get a Tulane. That's Tulane. Hey, I'm not going to hate him if he stays at Florida. After all, it's like an hour outside of where he lives. It's still like, in his backyard, pretty much. Like, I wouldn't hate it at all. And I like what we have at corner. It's not like we're lacking. We got Jordan Thomas, absolute dog. And of course, we already utilized our spatula and beat freaking Mike Norvell on the head one time for Jay Timmons, which is still crazy to me because I remember heading into that visit of his, he was like, yeah, this is just a visit. I'm going to see what's going on over there. He ended up loving the visit so much he flipped. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. It's not a foregone conclusion, though. PJ Dean, he's sticking. Matt Sieg, probably going to flip somewhere. Terry Wiggins, maybe West Virginia. Jordan Clay is Washington. Corey Barber, probably going to go LSU. Legend Bay, committed to Ohio State. Tennessee hasn't given up. That's why I haven't seen anything from him yet either. I think he's going to be a Buckeye, but we'll see. You have to imagine if they lose Legend Bay, they'll probably go portaling for a running back. Hard to say. Jaquan Guilford, he's sticking with the Buckeyes. He's already made it clear. He's locked in. He's locked in. He already posted the image, the I'm signing with Ohio State image that all the commits have been posting. Harron Wortham, no. Jackson Gates, Mizzou, Trez Davis, somewhere else. KJ Ford, that's an interesting one. Wow. They believe Ford could flip, but nothing is certain. Rodney Cleveland, probably North Carolina. Bryson Cooley, seems like LSU. Kendall Gervil, Harry Jemison, and Jackson Ford. There's a guy I thought Ohio State would probably try to maybe look at. I guess they don't really like what he has. Oh well. All right, so I think I'm going to wrap this up here in a moment. One quick refresh of the Rivals page. Southern California recruiting buzz. Oh, okay. All right. If you're just tuning in, how you doing? Let me check my thing here. If you're just tuning in to the stream, the latest CFP rankings and bracket were revealed. All right. Yeah, the latest CFP rankings were revealed. And let me pull them up for you here. We can go through them one time real quick. Here's the rankings. Again, and again, there's some changes. As you see on the bottom, we have not one, not two, but three group of 5 teams. Yeah. And what's interesting is All those teams are getting new coaches. Yeah. James Madison's coach went to UCLA. Obviously, North Texas's coach went to Oklahoma State. And as I just mentioned, I don't know if you guys actually heard that though. Tulane's coach went to Florida. John Summerall, who I was talking about beating on the head with a freaking spatula. Not really, but you know what I'm saying. Like when we flip a player from a place, from a team, I call that beating them on the head with a spatula. In fact, if you look in the bottom half, those are the only 3 teams that are getting new coaches. Except for Ole Miss. They're getting a new coach. Oregon, they're in a different spot. They're going to need 2 new coordinators. Will Stein went to Kentucky, and it just came out that Tosh Lupoy, their defensive coordinator, he's actually going to Cal. It's been a lot of places. I remember when he was in Cleveland as our D-line coach. Yeah. Now, if there's any teams that I would love to see in the playoffs, just to hate watch, like they would be hate watch gold for me. Vanderbilt, Miami, duh. And I think that's really it. I was going to say USC, but they're not going to make it. No. No, they're pretty much out of it. Cool to see Virginia get in, though. That would be sick. Tony Elliott leading that squad. Best year they've had in a long time. Be cool, It would be awesome to see them make it in there. Even if they would inevitably run into, as we see, either Ole Miss or Oregon. I think they could give Ole Miss a run for their money. But Oregon, though, hard to say. And again, the interesting thing is, Oregon and Ole Miss both lost coordinators, but Oregon still has Dan Lanning, so they'd have that. When you see bracket on the left side, you see Ohio State's path to another national championship right now, if this were to happen. Going through Alabama, Oklahoma, followed by Texas Tech, and then Oregon or somebody. The conference champion, the 5th one, group of 5, I'm gonna assume, but it's hard to say really. And then of course you'd have Notre Dame A&M versus Indiana. Oh God, could you imagine that? Notre Dame and Indiana rematch from last year. I know Indiana would be waiting to get that clapback though. And then of course you'd have Ole Miss versus somebody, and then the winner of that gets Georgia. That would be fun. But that is going to wrap it up for that. And of course, National Signing Day is tomorrow. So I might have a video out for that, depending on what happens. Now, the expectation is Ohio State could potentially get a commitment tomorrow, I think. All right, so here we got some more commitments, it looks like. Jordan Carter's committing tomorrow. Or actually, Tavian Branch commits today. He's down to Auburn, Ole Miss, Oregon, and Virginia Tech, if he hasn't committed already. Then tomorrow, Jordan Carter will go between Auburn, Georgia Tech, and Tennessee. Rodney Cleveland will probably go to Texas. I'm sorry, North Carolina. He's committed to Texas, but he's probably going to flip. 3-star D lineman Tico Crittenden. 9:30 a.m. Georgia Tech, Mississippi State, or Purdue. At 10 a.m., Nat Sieg commits to somebody. He'll sign with Indiana, Penn State, or Virginia Tech. the expectation is probably Virginia Tech. Jared Curtis commits tomorrow. We'll sign tomorrow at 10 a.m. with probably Vanderbilt. That's the assumption. Caden Dixon Wyatt and Chris Henry Jr. are expected to sign at 10 a.m. tomorrow as well. If Ryan Day can hit up Caden tonight or tomorrow and be like, yo, dude, do you really want to go play for that slimy, freaking slithery snake piece of crap, freaking Lincoln Riley? Yeah, it'd be fun to play in Cali, you know, in your home area, but you ain't going to win nothing. Do you really want to possibly catch Belt from Ohio State? I wouldn't want to face that. Hell no. Hell no. I'm not trying to catch Belt from Ohio State. Imagine you're KDW, right? You go to USC. You're sitting on the sidelines helpless while Chris Henry Jr. bends your secondary over and gives him the treatment. Wouldn't want that. Oh, I wouldn't want that. Man, especially if USC finishes like, if they look like garbage again, right? Because defense is trash, notoriously garbage, until proven otherwise. Like, can't trust them. I mean, damn. You want to go against the Matt Patricia defense? And we play USC next year. Now, I don't know if KDW is going to start next year. But at least you come to Ohio State, you're going to definitely get developed. Besides, you get to play with Jeremiah freaking Smith. And then guess what? In your sophomore season, you get to start alongside your boy, Chris Henry Jr. And oh, you got this top tier receiver in Jameer Brown coming in 2027 too. Wouldn't you want to catch passes from a Heisman candidate in Julian Sayin? Really? Imagine not wanting to catch passes from Julian Sayin. Yeah, I want to go play in a half-empty Coliseum. Or go play in front of 100K for sure fans at the shoe. Just sounding such a hater. Because it's like, I mean, of course they got to go out. They got to go to Oregon or freaking USC. It's always Oregon or USC. Wouldn't even be mad if they went to UCLA. Because imagine you go to UCLA, right? You get to look up and you see the mountains, you know? You play in the damn Rose Bowl. Yeah, they don't get fans. Then again, if they go to SoFi, they're still not going to have fans. Or why not go to freaking Washington? I don't hate Washington. We have a cool fan base. Right? And as they say, it's the greatest freaking scenery. It's so scenic. You got the lake over there, you know, loud as hell. I don't know about Damon Williams' status, but man, they have Denzel Boston too. I think he's a senior. Go someplace out west. Go out there. You know, be a dude somewhere like that. Go to freaking USC. Be a follower. Nah, be a trendsetter. Go to Sacramento State. Nah. I'm sounding like such a freaking hater because I just don't like USC. It's just something about them. I look at USC and I'm like, ew. I want to just freaking slap them in the face with a frying pan. Or more, the spatula. I just sound like such a hater right now. Oh man, I don't know what got into me there. I just don't like USC. I just don't. You know? Okay, so Damon's only a sophomore. Dude, so you'd be able to play with him for at least a year. Yeah, and Denzel Boston's a redshirt junior. Ooh. Thing is, though, Jetfish. That's the only questionable thing about that. Jetfish. Just don't know about him. Just don't. Can't trust him. Anyways, yeah, Caden Dixon Wyatt committing tomorrow. Corey Barber at 11 a.m. LSU or Washington. That's interesting. Samuel Utu, probably SMU at 11 a.m. JJ Finch, a guy that Ohio State was previously looking at for like a week. They were going to have him in for a visit, and then they backed off, and then they got Emmanuel Ruffin. And then they also got Darius McKinley, too. And by the way, speaking of Darius, I wonder if and when his brother's going to hit the portal. Because everybody knows if his bro hits the portal, we already know where he's going. Ohio State, because his brother's here. Like, it's a foregone conclusion. My guess is if he does enter the portal, he'll probably enter with a do not contact tag, meaning he knows where he's going. And everybody else probably does too. I wonder if that's the plan, though. Right? We'll have to wait and see. And then Thursday, the 4th, you have Carson Baker, who recently decommitted from Florida. He's looking at the Carolinas, North and South Carolina. 3-star edge, Jordan Woods, Georgia Tech and NC State at 3 p.m. Jace Matthews on Friday, December 5th at 11 a.m. It's Ole Miss, LSU, or Auburn. And there's probably going to be way more after that. All right, one more quick little check just to make sure I didn't miss anything with my spiel about how much I freaking hate USC. God. Anything else? Doesn't seem like it. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this up, guys, and I'm going to get my preview video uploaded for this game on Sunday on the main channel. So with that being said, if BYU loses, does Texas have a chance? It's possible. Very possible. They might need more to happen, though. I think BYU losing probably does help Texas, but I don't think they get in. Because again, let's take a look at the rankings. Texas is 13th. I mean, it's possible. Hard to say, though. It's going to be very tough for Texas to get in. Miami has a good chance to get in, though. But that's what's going to make this weekend fun. All right, guys, I'm going to head out. I've been on for almost an hour. So shout out to Jeff for coming through. And shout out to everybody watching. I'll see you guys this weekend when I go live on the main channel. I'll be live tomorrow on the main channel for Cavs and Blazers. But yeah, with that being said, I'm Crazy Dog, and it's officially time for conference championship weekend. One more rankings left, and that'll be the main one, the real one. So we'll see what happens. But I'm heading out. Let's go, Bucks. I'm Crazy Dog coming at you on the Buck and Crazy YouTube channel. Let's go, Bucks. National Signing Day tomorrow. I'll probably have a video out, so keep an eye out for that. That's why I say always be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you know when I go live and post videos. And we'll see what this class looks like officially. See if we have any shocking flips or whatever. Not expecting really anything crazy, though. Unless they swoop in on somebody last second, which, not hearing anything on that. But you never know. You never know what Ryan Day and company are going to do. They might know they're going to lose somebody, so they swoop in on somebody else that they were previously talking to. But yeah, with that being said, go Bucks. I'm Crazy Dog. OH. I'm out. Bye bye. Yeah. Number one. Yeah. Oh, yeah.